Everyone has a price. That's what Nathan Reid believed. Not as cynicism, as mathematics. Human beings were predictable. Give them the right number, and they would do almost anything. Betray a friend, abandon a principle, sell a secret. The only question was finding the threshold. Some people broke at thousands, others held out for millions, but everyone eventually broke. This belief had made Nathan very rich. It had also made him very alone. Boston in February is a city that punishes softness. The wind comes off the harbor like a blade, cutting through wool and leather, finding the gaps in your armor. The streets ice over. The homeless disappear into shelters or doorways, or the tragic invisibility that cold cities offer to those who have nowhere else to go. Nathan didn't notice the cold. He moved through it in a cocoon of black cars and heated lobbies, from his penthouse on Beacon Hill to his office in the financial district. A choreographed existence, every minute scheduled, every interaction monetized. 41 years old, founder of Apex Ventures, a crypto investment fund that had turned $50 million into $6 billion in 7 years. A reputation for brilliance, a reputation for ruthlessness, a reputation for seeing through people the way accountants see through balance sheets, all the way to the bottom line. He had no wife, no children, no friends really, just associates and employees, and the occasional woman who stayed long enough to realize that his attention was a transaction, not a gift. Nathan preferred it this way. People were variables. Emotions were inefficiencies. The cleanest life was one reduced to inputs and outputs, where nothing surprised you because you'd already calculated every possibility. The night he lost his wallet was a Thursday, a charity gala at the Four Seasons, the kind of event Nathan attended, not because he cared about the cause, but because the right people would be there. Handshakes, business cards, the quiet commerce of influence that happened between champagne toasts. He left at 11 p.m., tired, irritated by small talk. His driver was waiting, but Nathan waved him off. The penthouse was only 8 blocks away. He wanted the cold, wanted to feel something besides the numbness of another evening spent performing. He walked through the common, past the frozen pond, past the benches where in warmer months, tourists would sit and pretend they were part of the city's history. He didn't notice when the wallet slipped from his coat pocket, didn't hear it land in the snow, didn't realize it was gone until he reached his building and found his pockets empty. $15,000 in cash, credit cards, his ID, a photograph he never showed anyone, his mother 30 years ago, before the cancer took her, the only picture he had. Nathan sent his security team to retrace his steps. They found nothing. The wallet was gone, swallowed by the city, probably in the hands of someone who would max out his cards and throw the rest away. He cancelled the cards, reported the loss, wrote off the cash as an acceptable cost of carelessness. The photograph, though, that he mourned, quietly, in a way he would never admit to anyone. 2 days passed. On Saturday afternoon, Nathan's concierge called up to the penthouse. "Mr. Reid, there's a woman in the lobby asking for you. She says she has something that belongs to you." Nathan frowned. "Who is she?" A pause. The concierge's voice dropped, embarrassed. "She appears to be homeless, sir. Security wanted to remove her, but she insisted. She says she found your wallet." Nathan almost laughed. A homeless woman, returning a wallet with $15,000 in cash. The probability was so low, it barely registered as possible. "Send her up." "Sir, are you sure I can have security?" "Send her up." He waited by the elevator, curious now, calculating the angle. What did she want? How much would she ask for? Everyone had a price. This would be no different. The elevator opened. She was older than he expected. 60, maybe 65, gray hair tucked under a wool hat that had seen too many winters, a coat patched in 3 places, boots held together with duct tape and determination. She carried a plastic bag with her possessions and, in her bare hands, a leather wallet. His wallet. She stepped into the foyer, looked around at the marble floors, the artwork, the view of the city that cost more than most people would earn in a lifetime. Then she looked at Nathan. Her eyes were clear, steady, no desperation, no calculation, just a quiet dignity that didn't belong in her circumstances. "You dropped this," she said. "I thought you might want it back." She held out the wallet. Nathan took it, opened it. Every bill was there, every card, and tucked in the back, untouched, the photograph of his mother. He looked at the woman, and for the first time in years, he didn't know what to say. Nathan recovered quickly. He always did. "Thank you," he said. The words felt foreign in his mouth. He couldn't remember the last time he'd said them and meant it. "This is unexpected. Most people wouldn't have returned it. Most people aren't me." She didn't say it with pride, just fact. Nathan reached into the wallet, pulled out $5,000 bills. "Here, a reward for your honesty." The woman looked at the money, at the bills that could change her circumstances for months, that could buy warmth and food, and a room with a door that locked. "No thank you." Nathan blinked. "Excuse me?" I said, "No thank you. I didn't return your wallet for a reward." He added 5 more bills, $10,000 now, fanned out in his hand like a poker player showing his cards. "Take it. You obviously need it more than I do." Something flickered in her eyes, not offense exactly. Something sadder. "You think because I'm homeless I have no principles, that I can be bought with paper?" She shook her head slowly. "I found your wallet. I returned your wallet. That's the end of the transaction." Nathan felt something unfamiliar, a loss of control. The mathematics weren't working. "Then what do you want? A job? I can arrange that. An apartment? I own buildings all over this city. Name your price." "I don't have a price. Everyone has a price." The woman smiled. It was the saddest smile Nathan had ever seen. "That's a terrible way to see the world, Mr. Reid." She knew his name. Of course she did. It was on his ID, in the wallet she'd carried for 2 days without taking a single dollar. "Then why are you here?" Nathan's voice was harder now, frustrated. "Why return it at all? Why not just keep the cash and throw the rest away? No one would have known. No one would have blamed you." "I would have known." She said it simply, as if that was enough. As if her own knowledge of her actions mattered more than any external judgment. Nathan stared at her, this woman in patched clothes and broken boots, standing in his penthouse, refusing more money than she'd probably seen in years. The equation didn't balance, the variables didn't compute. "What's your name?" he asked. "Grace. Grace." He let the name settle. "Grace, I don't understand you. I've built my entire life on understanding people, on knowing what they want, on finding the number that makes them move, and you're standing here telling me you want nothing." "I didn't say I want nothing." Nathan leaned forward. "Then tell me, whatever it is, I'll make it happen." Grace was quiet for a long moment. She looked around the penthouse again, at the art, the furniture, the vast emptiness of a home designed to impress, not to live in. "That photograph," she said. "In your wallet, the woman. Who is she?" Nathan's chest tightened. "My mother. She's gone 30 years ago, cancer." Grace nodded slowly, as if she already knew. "I had a son once," she said. "Daniel. He was brilliant. Scholarships, Dean's List, the kind of kid who was going to change the world." She paused. "He died 6 years ago, overdose. Not because he was an addict, because he was in pain and the doctors gave him pills, and no one told him how easy it was to take too many." Nathan said nothing. There was nothing to say, After he died, I lost everything. The grief, it swallowed me whole. I couldn't work, couldn't function. My husband left. The house went into foreclosure. I spent 3 years drinking myself into oblivion, trying to forget I ever had a son at all. She touched the wool hat on her head, a small gesture, self-conscious. I've been on the streets for 2 years now, and in that time I've learned something. Money doesn't fix what's broken inside. It just builds bigger walls around the emptiness. She looked at Nathan. You carry your mother's photograph in your wallet. You've kept it for 30 years. That tells me everything I need to know about you. What does it tell you? That underneath all this, she gestured at the penthouse, the wealth, the carefully constructed fortress, there's a boy who misses his mother, who never stopped missing her, who built an empire because he thought it would fill the hole she left behind. Nathan felt something crack inside him, a wall he didn't know existed. What do you want, Grace? She stepped closer, close enough that he could see the lines on her face, the exhaustion, the years of survival etched into her skin. I want you to have dinner with me. Dinner tomorrow night. There's a soup kitchen on Harrison Street. I volunteer there on Sundays. I want you to come, not to donate, not to write a check. I want you to sit down and eat a meal with people who have nothing. I want you to look them in the eyes and see them as human beings, not as variables, not as numbers, as people. She paused. That's my price, Mr. Reid. 1 meal, 1 evening. That's all I want. Nathan looked at this woman, this homeless woman, who had refused $10,000 in cash and realized she was offering him something far more valuable than he had tried to give her. A chance to remember who he used to be, before the money, before the wall, before he convinced himself that everyone could be bought. Why? He whispered. Why do you care what happens to me? Grace smiled again, still sad, but something else now too, something like hope. Because your mother raised a boy who keeps her photograph in his wallet for 30 years, and I think she'd want someone to remind him that he's more than his bank account. She turned toward the elevator. Tomorrow, 6 o'clock, Harrison Street. She pressed the button, the doors opened, and Mr. Reid, he looked at her. Leave the wallet at home, you won't need it. Nathan almost didn't go. He stood in his penthouse at 5:30 p.m. on Sunday, wearing a suit that cost more than most people's monthly rent, staring at the door like it was a portal to another dimension. What was he doing? A soup kitchen. Dinner with homeless people. This wasn't his world. This wasn't his life. He had 100 legitimate reasons to cancel meetings to prepare, calls to make, the endless machinery of wealth that demanded constant attention. But every time he reached for an excuse, he saw Grace's face, her steady eyes, the way she had looked at his mother's photograph and understood something about him that no one else had ever seen. He took off the suit, put on jeans and a simple sweater, left his watch on the dresser, left the wallet too. The soup kitchen on Harrison Street was smaller than he expected, a converted church basement, fluorescent lights, folding tables arranged in rows, the smell of industrial cooking, not unpleasant, just honest. Soup, bread, coffee that had been sitting too long. Nathan stood in the doorway, paralyzed. Everywhere he looked, there were people, old men with weathered faces, young mothers with children clinging to their legs, veterans in faded jackets, teenagers who should have been in school, a cross-section of humanity that he had spent his entire adult life avoiding. You came. Grace appeared beside him. She was wearing the same patched coat, the same wool hat. But she looked different here, lighter, like this basement was the one place in the world where she belonged. I almost didn't, Nathan admitted. I know, but you did. That's what matters. She handed him an apron. Put this on. You're on soup duty. I'm what? Soup duty. Ladle. Bowl. Hand it over. Smile if you can remember how. She was already walking toward the serving line. Try not to spill. For the next 2 hours, Nathan served soup. It was the strangest experience of his life. No one recognized him. No one cared about his net worth. He was just another volunteer, standing behind a table, filling bowls for people who said thank you like they meant it. An old man told him about his time in Vietnam. A young woman showed him pictures of her daughter, who was starting kindergarten next week. A teenager asked if there was more bread and then, quietly, asked if Nathan knew anywhere that was hiring. Nathan listened, really listened. For the first time in years, he wasn't calculating, wasn't strategizing, wasn't looking for the angle. He was just present, in a basement that smelled like soup, surrounded by people who had nothing, and somehow still found reasons to smile. At 8 p.m., the line finally ended. Nathan sat at one of the folding tables, exhausted in a way that had nothing to do with physical labor. Grace sat across from him, 2 bowls of soup between them. "Eat," she said. "You earned it." He took a spoonful. It was simple. Vegetables, broth, nothing special. And yet it was the best thing he'd tasted in years. "I don't understand," he said quietly. "These people have nothing. Some of them have less than nothing. And they're not what I expected." "What did you expect?" "I don't know." Bitterness, anger, the kind of desperation that makes people dangerous. He shook his head. "Instead, I met a man who spent 20 minutes telling me about his grandchildren, a woman who's working 2 jobs and still can't afford rent, a kid who just wants a chance." Grace nodded. "That's the secret no one tells you about poverty. It's not a moral failure. It's just bad luck compounded by a system that doesn't forgive mistakes. Most of these people are one crisis away from where you are. And you're one crisis away from where they are. The distance isn't as far as you think." Nathan looked around the room, at the volunteers cleaning tables, at the last few guests finishing their meal, at the simple dignity of a place that existed for no other reason than to feed people who were hungry. "My mother would have loved this," he said. "Tell me about her." So he did. For the first time in 30 years, Nathan talked about his mother. Not the sanitized version for interviews, the real version. The woman who worked double shifts to keep him in school, who read him stories every night even when she was exhausted, who died believing he would become someone good. Grace listened without interrupting. When he finished, there were tears on his cheeks that he didn't bother to hide. "She sounds wonderful," Grace said. She was. "And I've spent 30 years becoming someone she wouldn't recognize. Then change." Nathan looked at her. "It's that simple. It's that simple and that hard." Grace reached across the table and took his hand. "You asked me what I wanted. I told you 1 meal. But that was a lie. What do you really want?" "I want you to build something that matters. Not another fund. Not another algorithm. Something that helps people like the ones you met tonight. Something your mother would be proud of." She squeezed his hand. "I'm 63 years old. I sleep in a shelter when there's room, and on the street when there isn't. I have nothing to offer you, except this. A reminder that you're more than your money. That the boy who loved his mother is still in there somewhere. That it's not too late to become him again." Nathan sat in silence for a long moment. Then he made a decision. "The foundation," he said. "I'm going to fund it. Properly. Not a tax write-off. A real organization. Shelter, job training, mental health services. Everything these people need and can't get." He looked at Grace. "And I want you to run it." Grace laughed. A real laugh. Surprised and almost young. "I'm homeless, Mr. Reid." "Nathan, and you won't be. Not anymore." He leaned forward. "You're the only person I've ever met who couldn't be bought. That makes you the only person I trust to spend my money the right way." Grace's eyes filled with tears. "You don't even know me. I know enough. I know you returned $15,000 you could have kept. I know you asked for nothing except my time. I know you see people, really see them, in a way I forgot how to do. He stood up, extended his hand. What do you say, Grace? Want to help me become someone my mother would recognize? She looked at his hand, at the billionaire standing in a soup kitchen, wearing an apron, asking a homeless woman to save him from himself. She took it. One condition. Name it. We name it after your mother. Whatever we build, her name goes on it. Nathan smiled. The first real smile in years. Her name was Eleanor. Then let's get to work, Nathan. Eleanor is watching. Outside, the Boston cold waited. But inside the basement, something warm had begun. A promise kept. A life reclaimed. A fortune finally put to use. And somewhere, 30 years gone, a mother smiled.